Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Still Curious with Gary Green, and I am Gary Green. A couple of months ago, I was having breakfast with some of my buddies, and I didn't have my car that morning, so one of them had to pick me up and take me to the restaurant to meet everybody else. When we were done with breakfast, I was going to ask my other friend for a ride home, and he had a Tesla Model 3. The friend that had brought me to breakfast gave me a warning, and he said, "Gary, don't ride in it. You'll end up buying one." We laughed, but I then proceeded to leave the restaurant, got in my other friend's car, his Tesla Model 3, and he drove me home. Well, a couple hours later, the friend that warned me not to ride in the Tesla texted me and said, "Well, did you buy one yet?" And we both laughed. Little did I know that that would be the day of the beginning of some research, changed my views about EVs and Teslas. Well, that was April 29th, and that was the day that it all started, the day that changed everything. Fran and I had been trying to decide whether we're going to get a new car to replace her 6-year-old Honda CR-V hybrid. But here's the interesting part. Fran and I weren't Tesla people. It's not that we were anti-Tesla or EVs, we just never thought of getting one. We liked the hybrid that she had been driving, and we thought that was the best of both worlds. Little battery operation and gasoline. What we'd actually decided is to probably get her a Lexus NX hybrid. I drive a Lexus RX 350, not a hybrid, but it's a wonderful car, 9 years old, very comfortable, perfect fit for me. And she liked her Honda CR-V. Well, we had plenty of reasons not to buy a Tesla. As some of you may be aware, that most of our information came from news and conversations about starting fire, unsafe, worrying about battery replacement and how expensive they are, running out of charge, finding chargers, long charging times. These sorts of things were things that concerned us. You know, what if we got stranded? Maybe it's too small. Maybe it would fit Fran and it'd be nice for her, or maybe it wasn't as comfortable. Or just, honestly, it was just too different. So Tesla wasn't even on our list. So when Fran got home that afternoon, she walked in, and we usually have our catch-up time when we're out and about doing our thing, and we gather back at the house and we talk about each other's day. And buying a new car had definitely been something that we would talk about. So I asked her, I said these words to her when she came in and we sat down, and how was your day type of thing. I said, "What do you think about getting a Tesla?" I'm telling you, neither one of us ever thought that those words would cross our lips. But you know what? Instead of dismissing the idea about all the negative things that we heard about them, we decided to do our research. And research is something that Fran and Gary are very, very good at. Before we buy a lot of things, we do research. We gain our knowledge, so when we purchase whatever it is, we know what we're getting. But this is where things really got interesting. You know, the questions that we started asking, and I had lots of questions. I did comparisons, size-wise, engine-wise, between the Tesla and the Lexus NX, or excuse me, yeah, the Tesla and the Lexus NX, the size. I compared it to the Honda CR-V. I looked about leasing and buying. I looked into insurance costs, battery life, charging at home, all these sorts of things that we had questions about, literally about owning an EV, what we thought might be our real issue. I even considered about the garage space when I started finding out that the Tesla Model Y that we were looking at, its size was bigger than her CR-V. We have a 2-car garage, but it's not a huge 2-car garage. There's not a lot of junk in it, but it's just not very wide, and new cars are pretty large, wide and long. And so I measured the thing out and I said, is it going to fit? So all this was something new to us to really delve into what an EV would be like. And we'd heard about, at that time, we heard about the full self-driving that the Tesla offered, which was a very interesting concept that we didn't know anything about. But again, we began our research. So I probably asked hundreds of questions. I ran it through ChatGPT and looking at YouTube videos and gaining information. But then came the test drives. So this story began on April 22nd with breakfast. And then we have a place in North Texas that we go to, and in May we were out in Texas still researching and thinking about a new automobile, possibly a Tesla. And that's when the research really began. I pulled up the Tesla app on my phone and I looked around about test drives, and in Plano, Texas, through the app I could arrange to pick up a Tesla Model Y in a hotel parking lot in Plano and take it for a 2-hour test drive. And it was as simple as that. It literally was setting an appointment on the phone, going to the hotel, never seeing anybody, walked up to the car opened because it was linked to our phone app, and we proceeded to drive around. Interesting enough, we had never been to Plano, Texas, so we didn't know where the heck we were going. And we'd never driven a Tesla before, so this was really, really new. So what we did, we had studied enough that we pushed self-drive, and picked a location, hit self-drive, and the car took us to like 3 different locations in our 2-hour test drive. The only time we took control of the car ourselves was in a parking lot. So we were really having a very, very new experience. It was really, really weird. I've got a picture I'm going to share. I don't have any video of the test drive, but I've got a picture of us that I'll share with you in that first test drive. So that was May 13th. We returned to Florida. On May 30th, the service center, this Lexus service center in West Palm Beach, was having a summer event. All right, I guess you want to know what just happened. We're just leaving this Tesla summer event. Walk in, get a cap. Here you go. Some snacks, and look around the showroom, sit in all the cars and decide. We probably have how many hours on YouTube watching?
Oh, 40 at least, the showroom in West Palm Beach.
In West Palm Beach, thank you.
Yeah.
But I'll let the future owner, the lady here to my left, make a few comments.
Well, it was nice because we happened to meet a gentleman who's older than us, who's 79, and he's had 2, and he loves it. He uses self-driving all the time. It was like, he was almost like a salesman, but he was sitting there checking out the new cars, and we could ask him a lot of questions. So it was great to talk to an owner. So I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah, cool. All right. Next video will be, I don't know when the next Tesla video will be, but we're
coming Monday to self-drive.
Oh, you have an appointment
I have an appointment to come self-drive.
I won't be along for that.
We self-drove it in Texas, but we weren't familiar with the area, so I don't count that.
Okay. You can see Fran had mentioned that she had another test drive scheduled, but that was on June 9th. So we drove up there, and this time we had actually a advisor spend about 10 minutes with us showing the car and functioning of the tablet that runs your car and the apps and that sort of thing. And so we took it on the road, drove out to eat, but see, now we're in familiar territory. So we did some of our own driving, but then full self-drive. We drove home, tried it, put it in the garage, see if it fit. It was really was kind of excited about it. And we had really studied so much. There were things we learned, but we had learned so much we knew kind of how to navigate. I think research is why I think research is so important. So that was on June 9th. The next day, on June 10th, sitting in our living room discussing what we'd learned over the last almost 2 months, Fran picked up her iPhone, had opened the app, and she said, "You ready?" "Yep." And so she picked out the Model Y, the color, the rear-wheel drive premium is what we got, or what she ordered, and that was on June 10th. And from our living room, she clicked send, and we bought a Tesla. The next day, we got the VIN number and told that we would be able to pick it up. They gave us a date when it would be picked up, but it actually came in early. 2 weeks later, on June 25th, that was delivery day. We went to the service center, saw a person for about 15 minutes. He put the license plate on, and we were on our way. So from first drive to delivery, it was about 2 months, just a little less than 2 months. And again, I remind people that when I talk about these things, that we take time. People know us, that people that know us take time. We do a lot of research. Maybe we spend too much time. Maybe they think it's weird. But I've heard stories of people, just recently, somebody that bought a car and there were some features she didn't really want, but that's all the dealership had. And so why would you buy a car? You know, I didn't say this to her, but you got something you don't want. But the reason you bought it is because they didn't have exactly what you want. It was a minor thing, but still, it wouldn't be minor to me. I want to get what I want, not what the dealer has to offer. So the buying experience was extremely easy. So as I began the video telling you we were not anti-Tesla people, but we just didn't think it was us. So what changed our minds? Well, we realized that most of our fears were based on not real experience. It's just based on, I would say, rumor, and some people just like to be negative and scare folks. But when I felt the Model Y, when I sat in the Model Y, it truly felt like an SUV. And that's what Fran liked about it, is the way it sat. And it was more comfortable than I'd realized it would be. So I was impressed. I'm going to do another video about the questions that you might have, but one of the things that we were concerned about is charging at home. And initially, we did not do anything other than plug it into our 120 outlet in the garage. The battery life, because of how little Fran drives, was really not a concern for us. The technology definitely impressed us, which we loved. Technology, we loved to learn, and we learned even more by having one. And it's been almost a month where we've become very comfortable with it. Doesn't mean the Tesla's perfect, and believe me, I'm not saying that. This is not a video saying, oh, you got to have a Tesla. I mean, just about every story I do when I talk about what I like, it's only sharing what I like. I'm sure there's other people that might be like me that want the research and want these certain things, but I'm definitely not saying this is the perfect car and you must have it. I realize that it's not for everybody, but after all our research, it was the best choice for Fran and I. So almost a month later, like I said, I still love my Lexus RX 350. I'm not replacing it. The Tesla is Fran's car, but you know what's happened now. When we go somewhere, guess what? We take the Tesla. The Lexus used to be the family car, and now guess what? The Tesla is now our family car, which I can't wait to learn about the savings we've made in gasoline versus electricity. It doesn't compare. We pay for electricity in our home, not the cost of the gasoline we'd be using. And because we use the Lexus a lot less, I'm saving gas in that area also. So it's pretty cool. In closing, was it the right decision for us? Yeah. Living with it for the last month, we've learned a lot. Yeah, maybe we've been surprised by things, some frustrations, a little bit of frustrations, but it's a smart car that can get rid of those frustrations by asking it and learning. We've been very impressed. It's actually more than what we expected. In my next video, definitely Fran's going to be joining me for the first time, and we're going to talk about what it's really like to own a Tesla. And, you know, even after the excitement of the delivery wears off, we'll give you our honest opinion, what we like, and if there's something we didn't like, we'll let you know. So I'll get into that a little bit in the next video with the regular daily driver. She'll tell you what her thoughts are, and hope to answer some questions that you may have if you're considering buying one. So whether Tesla is something that may fit for you, like Fran and I, who knows? Maybe this has helped. If you've got comments, I'd love to hear those. And if you have enjoyed the videos that I've been putting up in a variety of topics, please like and subscribe. This is Still Curious with Gary Green. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining me.